because there's so much doubt there.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't doubt William. William's got kids. You don't doubt any of them for a moment.
Actually, a lot of the sugars have started saying,
So why do we doubt Harry and Meghan?
Well, for a start, the Cambridge children, we see them. We see them all the time.
We've seen pictures of them. They're constantly featuring them, and
Gertie has had. Well, Queen Gertie, I haven't seen Gertie for ages. She's another one who's had problems again.
Where is she?
Well, she was demonetised. She's still got a channel. She hasn't been on. Well, not that I've seen. I haven't had any notifications. And again, she was talking and referring to the moon bumps. I mean, we all run the gauntlet when we mention the fact there were irregularities, shall we say, YouTube.
Well, I think it's probably, like I say, a stamp-proof cover of some description, which would...
It's a polite way of saying, what's up with your bump? Why does it keep changing size, shape and position?
Well, if it fell down, it would definitely get smaller, the bump, wouldn't it? Trevor's still here, look. I thought he'd gone, Trevor. I thought he'd abandoned us, but no, he's still here.
I firmly believe they lied about Lilibet. Do you want to come up, Trevor, for a last-minute chat?
And we could go on a bit
longer.
You
can tell the people about, because you've had a few developments, haven't you, in the last few days with... Well, I'm not going to say because it's your secret stuff that Trevor's setting up in the background.
So if Trevor wants to come up, we'll stay
I'll put the link in the chat if you want to.
If not, don't worry about it, mate. It's fine. He might not be in the mood.
He might not be, but if he wants to, because he might have something he wants to say. In the meantime. I gotta put this just back up just for a minute. Goodness me. What the hell is going on there?
Meow. Oh,
here we go. Oh, it's Harry. We've got Prince Harry in the green room.
No way.
I wasn't prepared for this. Give me a second to fix my camera. I was just sitting chilling, reading all the shite. Sorry, I'm not saying subscribers write shite. I'm just saying I was reading a lot of shite. Hold on.
I can't believe you don't believe in aliens. Oh, he's gone. He's unplugged his own camera. Small one. And you can ask him about the Battle of Boyne or whatever it was.
Battle of the Boyne.
And you said he knows all about James II, so he'd better, hadn't he?
I reckon he will. Yeah, he's back. There we go.
What's happened here? I don't even know what's going on.
Oh, like, you went all black and disappeared.
When I went all black. How dare you?
It's true. Ask everybody. 636 people watching.
I'm trying to fix my phone. What's going on here? Have you got me?
Yeah. Yeah, you're looking good.
How come when I turn it this way, I'm not on the screen? I'll have to just...
Trevor, we can all see you, mate. We can all see you. You're looking good.
Okay. Well, I'm always trying. There we go. I'm a mess, but I'm here.
What are you drinking tonight, mate?
I'm having a glass of red wine, actually.
Oh, very good. I'll drink to that. I'm on the San Miguel. I'll drink to that.
I was just chilling.
So have you watched the whole of the live, or have you come and gone?
I've watched most of it, mate. I've watched most of it. I was trying to, while I was watching you, I was dealing with a little ordeal I'm having. Basically, my guest for Wednesday night, which I'm a little bit upset about, has pulled out. I was on the phone to him there. He spoke to me about it. He goes, Trev, I'm not allowed. This is what he said. I'm not allowed to speak to you on Wednesday night because.
Who says?
Who
says?
My guest that I had on Wednesday night, the Special Forces guy.
Yeah, but who says he's not allowed to speak to you?
His publisher. And
right, okay, yeah.
So basically, he was going to tell me loads of stuff on Wednesday night, and he happened to, because it was advertised, his publisher found out and says, do not speak to Trev yet, because this will ruin the launch of his new book. It'll ruin the launch. So,
fair enough.
I mean, he's done nothing but apologize to me all day. However, I've been looking for I've been looking at other guests. I mean, I'm trying to keep my guests quiet. I don't want anyone to know, because the minute you let people know who Trevor's going to speak to, trolls will start fucking attacking them. Excuse my French. So
yeah, just keep it a secret, keep it a surprise.
I know.
I've always been very impressed that Trevor has Bear Grylls in his WhatsApp group. No offense, Graham, but I love Bear Grylls. I love him.
Yeah. The thing is,
Right.
I would never ask Bear to come on because you know why? See, the minute you say this, and this is I don't know how anyone else feels, but this is how I live my life. I'm humbled to have Bear as a friend. And the last thing I want is to sort of put him in a position where I'm asking him to do something, because I'm asking him to do something for my benefit, and I don't want to use friends like that. So it's nice that every so often, whenever I'm getting shit on me, whenever I get shit, he'll he'll put something out on Instagram or something nice to say, Trev, fucking ignore them. I mean, he does, and I've got loads of stuff here from him, which he won't give me anything because he doesn't need to, but he'll send stuff for my son, which is nice. So
Yeah.
I don't want to use him. I did send a message earlier on to Chris Ryan, and he sort of responded, but it's hard to get people like that to sort of give up half an hour, and like I'm a firm believer that, and this is how I live my life, Fiona. If you text me and I haven't responded within 2 hours, it's because I'm an arsehole. That's how I see things. That's how I live my life. So basically, if someone texts you and you've seen it and haven't bothered to respond,
Right.
then that means that you don't think highly of that person. And that's how I see it.
Or it means you're really busy at the moment.
Or
Or you haven't got a signal, or there can be a lot of things.
Yeah, because
there's a few things.
My phone doesn't even ring, let alone give notifications loads of times.
Well, there's okay. There's a few reasons why someone
And
will not.
I can't believe you don't believe in aliens. Those aliens, right? They're there. It was on Sky News today.
I had emails.
Did you hear Kay Burley go, so what should we do?
I had emails about that, Fiona.
Question.
Go on,
I had an email from a guy called Michael. Sent me an email going, well, Trevor, I seem like you called me out tonight. You called me out as if you don't believe me that I've seen these aliens. And I was like, go and boil your head. Go and boil your head.
I think it'd be awesome. I just know this is the year before Christmas. They're going to come and say hello, and I really hope they come. I would like to get one on a live.
I've been on the UFO trail at Bent Horses, you know.
So have I.
They've actually got a model of the UFO in the woods.
Graham, it's 800 meters away. I see it all the time.
Do a video. Go and see it and touch it. Lick it.
Do you want me to? It's a big metal. It's a big metal
black thing. I remember it, mate. I remember watching it on the news.
I totally believe all of that stuff. Do you know, when I have a fan in the garden at night, I look for UFOs. And I think I misidentified the planet Venus once.
Or Saturn or something.
Right.
Venus.
I got the app,
right.
Star.
Listen, just stop.
Saturn or something,
Please stop, Graham. If there was real aliens, why haven't they taken pricks away with them? You know? Why haven't they just went...
Because they walk amongst us. A lot of them look human.
It could be
so you don't know. You
don't
know, do you?
Idiots walk amongst us.
Absolutely. My old man saw a UFO.
Did he?
He was in the Air Force. Have I told you this story before? He was.
You did?
Yeah. Three RAF planes, and they saw it. They saw it, and they reported it, and they said, like, don't say anything. Keep it to yourself. Anyway.
It's just someone else.
Sure.
He's got to put his tiara on.
Has he got a tiara?
I don't know, probably. Oh, fuck me, he's got a crown. That's excellent, most awesome. I can just see the stills on X on the troll accounts.
There you go. King Arthur.
I love that. Where did you get that?
I got it off Diana. No, I mean, there's a woman. No, listen.
You stole it from the palace when you were there.
Listen, don't jump to conclusions. There's a lady across the street called Diana.
Did you see the picture of King Charles II dressed in a little ball gown as a baby?
I'm not sure, honestly. I've seen today's been a day where everything's came at me. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I was watching your live with matchsticks in my fucking eyes. Like this, Jesus Christ.
You'd have to rewind it, Trevor, watch it again. She's got a million boxes over there. It'll take her
I've seen the research that she's here. She's in the room. I've seen the research that Fiona's done and how all the bots work, and I'm stunned at that. I really am. But whenever you talk about subscribers and the fact that people can buy subscribers, I spoke to might have been the other week, about 2 female YouTubers that have bought loads of subscribers to lift themselves up.
Really?
Yeah.
You'd think if they get caught, they get thrown off, wouldn't you?
Well, let's hope so. Let's hope so. And then they can stop getting on like bitches.
She's going to get the picture up now. She's.
What do you make of that, Trevor? That is Charles II as a little boy.
I'm going to be honest. From here, he looks Korean. I can't really see. It just
that's a Cinderella ball gown on a little boy.
Wow.
You don't dress your little boy like that, do you?
You dress a little girl like that. What must he have thought when he grew up and saw that?
he must
he stared and wanted to burn people for witchcraft and things.
That's crazy.
I was telling her about 1690.
Oh yeah, apparently you're an expert historian on James II.
He's grown up with it. He's been tormented.
Well, I know 1690 and the Battle of the Boyne, which caused a lot of shit over Northern Ireland. Of course, yeah, King William. Yes,
that's it.
There was those loads of battles over here. But you know what? And I will say this. I am from Northern Ireland. I live in England. And there's 2 things that get me. 1690, Battle of Boyne, the rise of Protestantism, loyalism. And there's also the 1966 England World Cup. So, which is not that far, which when we think about it, 1966 was not long ago. But I hear a lot of people in Northern Ireland go, oh, I wish the English would shut up about 1966. And then I go, oh, hello, 1690. Jesus Christ. Come on, let it go. Let it go. So dates are important to different people. The most important date to me is, I think it's the 25th of December this year. You know what's happening this year, 25th of December?
Is it bonfire night?
It's the night that Harry moves back to England and puts it on Meghan. Sorry, I think that might have been a dream. I don't know.
You never
Do you know what? Until today, I didn't know really any history about the royal family between James I and like George I. I didn't know. I really am.
In England, we forgot about 1690 by about 1692.
A lot of stuff happened. A lot of stuff happened everywhere.
I've been educated today. I watched a few lives today. Someone prompted me. I'll tell you after, but someone prompted me. Trevor, go and watch Meghan's Mole's. I like Meghan Mole. I'm just saying that. She's
had difficulties recently. I know that much.
All I heard was, Trevor, please go and watch Meghan Mole's live she did last night with Paula Makatakovich. So I went and watched it. And I was stunned. And I just thought, this is my opinion, I just thought, you drama queen bitch. That's all I thought. That was in my head. Okay, I know I've said it out loud. And I don't mean Meghan's Mole. And I'll tell you why. She did a live with Meghan's Mole. And Paula accused Sue Smith. Sue Smith said about, it was me, Paula. And because of that, I lost 700 subscribers. And I don't think what she's done is good. I'm like, really? I mean, wow. I mean, I just thought, wow, really? I mean, I was a little bit taken back by that, because whenever Sue Smith did her live, or did her video or whatever, she didn't mention Paula M. She just said someone called Paul or something, and she clarified it. So I got a little bit annoyed about that. I don't like how certain YouTubers use other YouTubers for clickbait and for likes, and I've been the brunt of it before with her. I don't like how she goes about things. I don't like people that make up stories. Right? There's enough shit out there with the royal family without making stuff up. There's enough stuff out there. So whenever people make stuff up about the royal family just for clickbait, I just get pissed off of it and just think, really, you're not a YouTuber. You are not. People shouldn't watch you.
I do enjoy her lives, though. I enjoy her thought process, and she's so energetic and thinks so.
You mean
far.
Megan? You mean Megan?
No, Paula.
Oh well, Megan's Wall.
You can see her energy and her mind is thinking.
What
like
can I come out with now?
Out loud.
Well,
and I like that.
I like Megan's Wall. She's interesting. She is interesting. But I'm gonna. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'll be honest. I don't like YouTubers that are full of shit and make stuff up for clickbait. And Paula is full of shit. And you saying that you like her, I mean, come on, Fiona, you've got a brain. She's full of shit.
I like it because she does a lot of her opinion. She says a lot. I think this and I think that. But
her opinion, she tries to make her opinion out to be a fact. It's not fact. It's bullshit. I mean, anyway, I'll move on from it. I don't want to.
I don't know, mate. I'm staying on the fence because I don't watch it.
Maybe it's a woman thing.
It might be a woman thing. Women are very intelligent. I'm going to say that.
Because a lot of the sugars accuse me of stating facts, and I go out of my way to explain I'm not an expert and I might be full of shit, and people really do need to double check everything I say because I mispronounce things. I get things back to front, upside down.
Women are better. If I'm honest, women are better at a lot of things than men, and that's why a woman can't have a penis. But I'm just saying that women are better than men at a lot of things.
I've got a bigger one than you.
We have. We go straight out and say it. Now, I know tomorrow I'll have emails. Oh, Trevor, you said this. You shouldn't have said that. But, you know, I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, you're a very straightforward. You're a straight shooter.
Dale Plummer said, make of the coming war. We'll be mates that will have to go. Trevor, what do you make of the coming war? I don't know what that means. Which war? You mean about the one that's happening now?
It could actually escalate into really quite a big thing, couldn't it? Because, I mean, Israel is saying they're going to go for the head of the snake. Iran.
Well, Dale, that's a very good question. First of all, there's Ukraine, which is happening right now. I don't want to, it's just bullshit, but the British Army cannot get involved in anything. We've got no money. The manpower's low. The morale's low. There's issues in the MOD. There's issues with the general. The generals are split. Half are saying stay out. The woke ones are saying getting involved. And the reason why the woke generals want to get involved, because they'll not be in the front line. They'll send the troops to their death. I think Ukraine has skinned us. As a nation, we are massively in debt, and we cannot afford to get involved in anything to do with Israel. Israel will, and they have issued a warning, Israel has said to Iran, Hezbollah get involved, we will military strike your country. Bust. And they don't lie. Israel will do it. Mossad and Israel's spies they're going to carry out the same thing they carried out in 1972 Munich thing. They're going to send people off and they'll eliminate everyone that was involved. And they don't care whether those people are living here. Now, what the UK did in a good way was, Trevor, you could have Megan's Mole on your channel. Yes, I could. I think she's a great YouTuber. I like her. Anyway, other question was, it was to do with Israel at the minute. Israel will send people to the UK now, because in the last couple of days, we've noticed that the journalists in the UK have actually highlighted an ex-Hamas commander living in North London.
Right.
He will probably be killed due to what's going on now. They'll go around wiping people out. It's nothing to, I mean, I'm not saying that we don't already know, common sense, but that's what will probably happen. And a Hamas commander living in a council flat, and he got it 113,000 price below the asking price. Don't know how that happened. It's quite strange. There's too much going on, and I don't think we are operationally effective enough to fight on two fronts. I don't think we can do it.
Right. Yeah. No, I don't think so. I think we're just going to be support forces.
Yeah.
Foxy's trying to come up. I've got you in the green room, Foxy.
Your camera's not on,
Your
Foxy.
camera's not on, and I don't think your microphone is either.
Yeah.
So can you check them? I've got you waiting in the green room. Foxy.
Thing is, Trevor, yeah, I mean, I know Iran definitely funding Hamas, and so's Qatar. Now, I don't know if Qatar are funding Hamas with the intention of them buying weapons and things, but they've definitely been funding the Palestinians. And whether that money's been turned around to buy weapons.
Well, what surprised me was the hostages that were released. Apparently, Biden brokered a deal with the Qataris.
Yeah. They've obviously got a lot of influence.
Who've openly said we've been funding Hamas for years. What the fuck?
Yeah. They should help some of the
scary, isn't it?
refugees, shouldn't they?
Straight away, I was like, what the hell has it got to do with Qatar?
They could fly them.
And then he said, oh, well, they've been giving money to Hamas. That's a big deal. Well, I think that's a big deal.
Well, they've always supported the Muslim Brotherhood, haven't they? And
a lot of these terrorist organizations live in places like Dubai and Qatar because they know that the West will never strike Qatar or Dubai because it's where the billionaires are. So the US and the UK will never strike there. So that's where they know they're safe.
Yeah.
The only thing that could happen is, and I don't think we would ever do it, is if we were to say we are stop buying your crude oil, that would make them panic to hand over terrorists.
Yeah. OPEC and that, yeah. But they're very closely with, especially Saudi Arabia, the British, and Oman, places like that, United Arab Emirates. These are all sorts of so-called friendly states.
Right. Kara's just said there.
Yes, I was just reading that. Actually, I'd like to say I'm pretty sure Israel withdrew from the Strip in 2005 and gave the Palestinian people. So there is no occupation there. And as a way of saying thank you, they cut holes in the net, went in, kidnapped and murdered.
Well, I want to point out here, and please, Cara, this is not a dig at you. This is a dig at everyone. And I want everyone just to fucking give their head a fucking wobble. Give it a shake. Because you know what? Every single country on this planet has been stolen from someone else. Everywhere. Kuwait, Iraq, Northern Ireland, America, Canada. See this here, let's stop at the occupation. Listen, we've all been occupied by other forces. We've all had land taken off us. This is how the world moves. And I get sick to death of people saying about things like, oh, Trevor, and I want to go down this road. People say things like, oh, Trevor, well, we need to stop using plastic. You know, it's ruining the sea. Listen, this is a planet. This bullshit that I see every day and it's put out, but we get taxed. Soon we'll be getting taxed on this. This planet has taken ice age, sandstorms, snowstorms, meteor attacks. It's had meteorites smash the place. It's had corrosion, erosion, different types of things happen. The ice age. Aluminum cans and bags is nothing. I mean, and as people say, oh, with the land, they've taken the land. We've all had land taken off us. Australia, Aborigines, the Indians, everyone's had something taken from them. So see this here excuse of they're taking the land off us. Well, I'm being serious. So Northern Ireland was taken off Ireland. I know there's been battles here, but you know what? Unless people learn to negotiate and compromise, it's just going to be war. All this is two egos that can't sit down and have a chat.
I've said it all along. You know, people can live in peace together if they want to.
Yeah.
It's when they don't want to that's when the problems occur.
Here's a problem which I'm seeing now right across the world, and this is this. So if you are pro-Palestine, well, not only do I think you're scum, but I'm just going to go through it, right? So I am seeing pro-Palestine hatred parades. They're not demonstrations. They're inciting hatred. And the one thing that I don't like is this. These pro-Palestinians left Palestine. They left Israel. They decided to come to the West. They escaped persecution. They escaped Hamas and atrocities. They came to the West for a better life. And what's the first thing they do when they get here? They stand up for the scum they've just left. And you know what? I will be honest, for anyone that's watching this, if you really like Palestine that much, fuck off back there. That's the truth of it. Because you know what? Anti-Semitism has risen in the UK this year alone, and they're saying by 1,300%. And the worst thing is, it's not by British citizens. I'm being serious. It's not by French citizens. It's not by German citizens, right? The anti-Semitism comes from the people that escaped that persecution to settle in our country. Now, so all these pro-Palestine...
I am definitely a believer in when in Rome. For example, we live in Spain, so we really feel we're guests in another country. We wouldn't dream of criticising their cultures, their ways. They allow us to live in their country, and we love them.
We don't go out and tell them what they're doing is wrong.
No.
Yeah.
But it's good in a way that these people can protest.
Yes.
Because that's what our democracy is all about. Inciting hatred is something different. And there are people sucked in with the lies and the grooming. It's political grooming. And people do get sucked into it. And they do believe the lies.
You're absolutely right, Trevor, that it is inciting hatred. But I'd go further and say that hatred is potentially being incited by companies such as the one in Lesotho.
They
could employ a ton of people as they brag, real human beings, and they will type what they're told. If you type hate Israel, hate Israel, hate Israel, that is what they will type to earn their coin.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I mean,
outlawed.
I mean, no one's got anything against. I mean, I'll be honest with you. No one. I mean, I think that if people are pro-Palestine, let them do it. They can fly the Palestinian flag. They're allowed to. I mean, that's democracy. But whenever you're seeing people within those ranks holding the ISIS flags and all and chanting jihad, then there's no place in society for that. There shouldn't be. You know, there shouldn't be. It's nasty.
Well, don't forget, a lot of Palestinian people are not in favour of what's just happened.
Yeah.
And they do want to live in peace. I mean, I've had people, I mean, I don't know the solution. I'm not an expert on the situation. But I've spoken to a lot of Palestinians who said that they'd be quite happy to live in Israel as an Israeli Palestinian. You know, if the West Bank and Gaza became Israel, they're quite happy to live in peace and go to the mosque and get a job and do all the things. They're not interested in killing people, not at all. But then you've also got the factions within the Palestinian that want to kill people. And then you've got the people who are afraid of the Hamas. Yeah. And that they're not really supporters of Hamas, but they're afraid, and so they go along with it as well. So it's a very complicated situation.
I do hope
There's no easy
civilians
solution.
in Palestine can get to something safe.
It's shocking, isn't it? I mean,
it's so difficult.
I mean, at the minute the world's all pro-Israel, and you know what? I'm going to be honest.
Well, yes, because
I'm not 100% pro-Israel. I mean, as you just said there, you know, there's innocent Palestinians being killed.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely right there with you. I don't want any innocent people to die.
And actually, those innocent Palestinians, you would think that all the countries, all the Arab states, everybody could do as much as they can to airlift them out of there. Get them out of there. Israel would give time. If, say, Egypt said, give us a week, we're going to send helicopters in, we'll take them out. Israel,
they've got to have somewhere to go.
Yes.
They've got to have somewhere to go. And
Arab countries don't want them. And that's quite apparent. We've seen it.
That's the truth of the matter, really, isn't it?
The weird thing here is the only place that will take these people in are the West, and which I find strange because they are hell-bent in destroying Western culture. They're hell-bent. I mean...
Well, not all of them, but certainly some of them are.
Actually, if you look on YouTube at videos of Iran in the 1960s...
Oh, yeah, it was brilliant.
Women, mini-skirts, just might as well have been on the beach in Spain. Now, look at Iran.
Trevor, there are... To my information, I might be incorrect, but to the best of my knowledge, there are 22 Arab states. Right? There's one Jewish state. And they all want to just push the Jewish state. Why is the Jewish state not allowed to exist? There's only one state.
Said. Benji, he phoned me up. He said, TikTokers, big TikTokers are saying Israel, it was an unprovoked attack.
Of course it was.
And I said, no, that Israel attacked Palestine unprovoked. That's what big TikTokers are saying. TikTokers with millions of followers who are probably bought from places like Lesotho. And both my kids phoned me up and said, "Is that true?" And I said, "No, that's bullshit. Israel was attacked by Hamas."
The internet.
There's
They
propaganda.
the country and said, "Israel's fucking tiny. What's the problem? Why do they want Israel? It's tiny." And I said, "Exactly."
I see, come on. I mean, Israel and Palestine, right from the beginning of time, have wanted to kill each other. And the West have basically let them get on with it for too long. We've turned a blind eye to genocide on both sides here, which is going on all the time. And the West has turned it, sort of went and ignored it for so long until it's got to the stage where, in a time now, because 20 years ago we didn't have Twitter, we didn't have Instagram, we didn't have this technology. So now it's in our face. We can't escape it. So maybe we're having to face this full on now, because we are now seeing it when we wake up and we look at our phone. It's there. So and Israel and Palestine, they're both very good at propaganda. They're both good at it, and it's now thrust into your face. It's now right center stage. So the West has to do something, but I don't think the West should back either side. I don't think that's the way to do it. I don't think you back one side and ignore the other. We need to stop it on both sides. And the only way to do that, in my opinion, is to send in a new type of international peacekeeping force. And I don't mean UN. They're outdated. They're outdated, a pile of shit. We need to send in an international force to actually stop it. And when I say international force, there's never, ever been an international force which had China, the US, the British, French, German, an international force which has everyone in it. Because before, an international force has always been the West against the East. And that's not how you do it. So unless you start to work with other nations, which we've never done before, you're not going to be able to stop that. Can you imagine if you sent in an international force, Graham, into there to keep the peace, which had Chinese soldiers working with the US and working with the West? Do you know what? Either side would be shit scared to get involved in a contact with those countries.
I don't know. But I think the state of Israel should be allowed to exist. I really do. I'm on their side because there's only one Israeli state. There's only one Jewish state. And there's 22 Arab states, and they don't even have any oil.
Tara has asked, Israel have been keeping children hostage for decades. Google how many Palestinian children are in Israeli jail. I dare you. How do you know that the results on Google are not?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
How do you know that? This is the problem. When people talk of misinformation and disinformation, sometimes it can be a blatant lie, absolute blatant lie.
It can for sure.
I mean, during the run-up of the Brexit referendum, I tried to bring the subject up, but Dominic Cummings had several GoDaddy websites, and he put fake stories on. He got actors who look like Muslims. I know because I did research into this, and I found the stories were either fake or they were stories from Greece. And he purported they had just happened in London to alienate Muslims. It was a total fucking lie. I reported him to abuse at GoDaddy, and they went, "That's not a problem." But then again, Twitter told me that 500 death threats on Twitter was not a problem, and flying a hitman out. So, I don't believe Israel are locking up Palestinian children. I'll put myself out there now and say that I call bullshit on that. If there is a website out there on a Google search saying that, I call bullshit on it. And you can send me a link. Please don't email me for God's sake, but send a link in the comments and I'll go and check it out. And if I find it is bullshit, I will rip it to fucking pieces on a live. Because I think Hamas's PR is horribly unsophisticated. It might be dollops of shit an audience 20 years ago would have bought, lapped up like kittens, but not today.
Yeah. I mean, my own son, not Ben, his older brother, he got sucked into all this Palestinian stuff. He had a Palestinian flag.
That's how he's ended up in prison, I think.
He had a YouTube channel and he was talking and sticking up for the Palestinians and coming out with all this bollocks.
Yeah. You want another
yes, please. And he got 4 years in jail.
Yeah.
Anti-Semitism.
Mary's just said there. Mary, I'm going to be honest with you. no one's denying this. I mean, it's quite clear that innocent Palestinians have been killed and innocent Israelis have been killed.
Yes.
No one. I'm not on any team. I'm not Team Israel or Team Palestine. I think it's just completely. I think it's shocking what's happening, and I think the West need to stop sort of try and move towards peace talks rather than back aside.
Yeah.
It's shocking.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want anybody to get killed. Anyone who's innocent.
No one does. I mean, it's
I differ from you there because I'm on the side of Israel on this. I think they do have the right to exist and they do have the right to protect themselves.
Yes, but yeah, Graham, I get that. I'm not arguing that. Listen, they do have the right to protect themselves. They do have the right to exist, but they're doing exactly what the Palestinians done to them. I mean, two wrongs don't make a right, mate. You can't just go and fire missiles and destroy people because they did it.
You know, the tit for tat thing in Northern Ireland happened, you know, and it was was going nowhere. All that was happening was people were getting killed. Exactly,
mate. I mean, I think Israel have the right to defend themselves. Of course they do. No one's denying that. But you know, to keep firing missiles, to keep going in with tanks, you know, innocent people are being killed, and I think that look what Israel's done in the last 2 days. I mean, they got confused and they decided to blow up an Egyptian border post. They also fired 2 airstrikes into Syria by mistake. I mean, come on. I mean, this is about to be the best intelligence in the world, Israel.
I know. But look, we've all been guilty of friendly fire incidents, haven't we? I mean, the Americans a British armoured vehicle, didn't they, in Kuwait? Was it Kuwait? Was it the first Gulf War or the second Gulf War? I mean, that was a pure accident. It wasn't intentional.
There's been quite a few things, but, you know, whenever they sent up jets, Israel did, and they fired missiles into Syria, over the border into Syria, in an airfield, I mean, they didn't do it once, they did it twice. I think that's a deliberate target that they did there. Maybe it was for their own benefit, but at the end of the day, Israel can't expect people to love them if they're shooting things in Egypt and firing missiles into Syria. You know, come on. I mean, get a grip, Israel.
You got.
They keep making mistakes, and I think at the minute they're panicking, Graham. I think at the minute Israel are panicking and they're just heading out. When I think they really need to take a step back and let's look at the options here.
I actually, sorry to interrupt. I agree with you, Trevor, that an international peacekeeping force, and I'd go further than that, because apparently a lot of money has been given to Hamas to build infrastructure for the good of the Palestinian people, and clearly they're incapable or negligent. So I think that the international peacekeeping force could have a treasury, and they go, right, we're going to build a hospital here, we're going to build a school there. And for the international community to build Palestine up.
We've seen the same thing in Africa where they've given loads of money to an African country. Some president stolen it and built a palace.
I mean, your situation, Northern Ireland, the Good Friday Agreement, they've basically thrown a ton of money at the situation, unless I've greatly misunderstood. And that's helped to keep the Good Friday Agreement going, hasn't it?
There was 2 Good Friday Agreements, and that's what the problem is. So basically, I remember the book. We got a book through Oliver Dore. It was like a book, and you read it. It was a Good Friday Agreement, and that's what the people were given.
Yes,
but that's not what was signed, because in that Good Friday Agreement, which we all read, and all went, "Oh, we all agree with this. This is lovely." Behind closed doors, you had Jerry Adams, Mark McGuinness, Peter Robinson, and different other people signing agreements away. None of us knew that we were about to let out every single murderer and killer out of prison. Or to get a jail-free pass. None of us knew that. None of us knew that terrorists that had killed people in Northern Ireland, which were absconded all over the world and hiding, were able to come back to the country. None of us knew that the Good Friday Agreement resulted in 25 to 30 years' time, British soldiers that served in Operation Banner can start to be prosecuted, but no one can touch the terrorists. So we were sold this false sort of great golden book, and it turned out to be a lie. So, and all it was is there was also an agreement signed, which we will never find out about. There was a 100-year agreement signed, which meant the Good Friday Agreement that was signed back then were allowed to know what was in it for 100 years. So by the time we're all dead, my
Right.
son will be able to see it. It's all underhandness. And
But has it been worth it for? Because do you remember before the GFA? Do you remember any of the troubles personally?
I remember, I was a young lad. I
Sorry.
remember, sorry, I was a young boy at the time, but I remember coming out the front of my house on certain days and having a football with my mates on the green, and I would hear a bang, and I would look in the distance, about 6 or 7 miles away, and then I'd see the big puff. I'd see a puff of smoke, and I'd hear a bang. So I could hear and see the bombs going off in Belfast, but
Did it scare you as a child?
no, I was miles away. No, it didn't. No, it didn't scare me.
Really? Because it scared me. I remember the troubles in England, and because I lived in Lewes, my dad worked at the Crown Court, and he did a lot of cathedral services. And in Lewes we quite often had mortar bombs dropped in bins, and they just open up like a flower. And if a bang went off, Bobby Sands and his friends were in jail and all that. My dad was having to do the Chichester Cathedral service, and he said if Bobby Sands dies before or around that time, we've got a lot of people in that cathedral. And every time there was a bang, and in Lewes, the bonfire night, a bang, 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 and we were never sure. In fact, even now, the other night when we had machine gun fire, I was like, that, God. And it takes me right back, or being on the underground in London, and frequently they'd say, evacuate, someone found a bag, evacuate.
Well,
so in England, it was quite scary, actually, the troubles.
I know a little bit about the hunger strike in the prisons, and that was because my dad worked in the prisons in the hunger strike, and he knew.
Of course, yes. I forgot that.
Right. So they went through the hunger strike, and they refused to put on the uniform. They wanted to wear their own civilian clothes. They ended up getting what they wanted, but they went through a campaign known as the shit campaign, the dirty campaign, it was called, and they started to rub their own excrement in the cell.
Yes, I remember.
Right. Anyway, what would happen is they would be moved to another cell. The prison officers would come in wearing all the protective gear, and they would clean the cells. But this went on and on and on and on and on.
It did seem to go on forever, didn't it?
So do you know how they fixed it?
They hosed them, didn't they?
No. Back in those days, prison officers and the RUC did not take, this sounds weird, they didn't take shit from anyone. So this is what they did. You're having prison officers go into work to look after these people, and they were rubbing their own shit all over the walls and all this here in the food. And the prison officers were having to wear respirators. It was disgusting. So what they did was this. They spoke to the boss and says, are you going to stop doing this? And they went, no. So rather, now bear in mind, these guys were on hunger strike.
Yes.
So here's how you sorted it. You took prisoner A and you put him in prisoner B's room. So you swapped them all around. So then you started putting prisoners in other people's cells.
Right.
See, whenever they were breathing in other people's shit, they stopped doing it because they were losing more weight. They were losing more weight and being sick and losing more weight.
They all died in the end, weren't there? There were 3 of them.
I remember Bobby Sands.
Quite a few of them. I mean,
I remember the famous photographs. They did pose Bobby, definitely, because there was the photograph of him naked, like that, and you could see the shit on all of the walls, and they did advertise that's what they were doing.
There was a priest. These are true stories. I've spoke to many of the guys who worked there, but there was a priest coming in one day into it was a Crumlin Road jail, coming into Crumlin Road jail to speak to the hunger strikers, and he got stopped and searched. And one of the prison officers said to the priest, "Why are you carrying a pencil case? Is that one of the guys' coffins?"
Oh right, okay, yeah. They were getting quite skinny, of course. Yes.
Oh yeah. I mean, to be fair,
my point was, if they were to throw money at Palestine, I mean, has money been invested in Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland in order to make life better from whoever, whether it's from the EU, the UK, wherever,
Well,
America, maybe. Have you seen investment in
yeah.
that area?
There's been no investment in the Republic of Ireland, and that's because there was no bombs in Republic of Ireland. Republic of Ireland suffered zero, basically. Belfast and around there suffered massively. Belfast is a beautiful city once again, though. I mean, I went home a while ago there, not that long ago, and I went to visit places which I would never have been. They were out of bounds to me for about 20 years, and I went to see them. Belfast is thriving. There used to be a time in Belfast where there was out of bounds areas where Protestants wouldn't go and Catholics wouldn't go, but now it's just a mixture, and it's a beautiful city now. I mean, there's been so much investment; it's stunning. It really is.
So I mean, and the other thing is we've got a place in Spain, the Basque. You might be aware. I mean, they were friendly with the IRA, the ETA. And again,
it's on the French border, north of Spain.
Yeah, they speak a totally,
yeah.
not only speak a totally different language to Spanish.
Yeah, they were terrorists.
When you drive through Basque, the signs are like Greek or Russian or something. And it sounds different.
Yeah.
And I was actually in jail with quite a few of the top ETA terrorists. There was an ETA table at the dinner hall, and then there was us expats at the next table. And they had a lot of money and investment, and we don't hear any problems about ETA or Basque now.
I don't. Yeah.
It's finished.
Going back 20 years.
So that's why I'm thinking money in the situation, but the money must be in the hands of someone responsible. And I think it's this idea of yours, rather than the UN, to have a peacekeeping force like Iron Fist, Velvet Glove.
That's what the UN was set up for, wasn't it? And it didn't sort of.
Yeah, I mean, the UN. I personally believe the UN and NATO are outdated, and we need something new. And the fact is, the reason why NATO's outdated is because the UK has really stopped investing. I know Donald Trump stopped investing US into it, but a lot of money stopped being invested into NATO. Because
I do appreciate why Donald did that, though, because he was saying America was paying in a lot more than everyone else and getting fuck all out of it. And it was a piss take. It was a piss take. You're all right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good. Excuse me, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, America was paying more than anyone else, but they've got bigger GDP than everyone. So whenever they were paying into NATO, what Donald Trump, I got his method behind why he wanted to pull out of it. But NATO was there looking after all these breakaway countries in Europe and the Balkans and Russia. So NATO's been there. And the whole design of NATO was to keep people safe, which meant the US didn't have to bring its mighty machine across because it was investing in this. But then what happened over the years since the Second World War was that the US kept investing into NATO, and they were going, and for some reason they kept thinking, we're getting nothing out of it. We're getting nothing out of it. Why are we doing this? Right. Well, the reason why you're doing it is so you don't have to bring over everything. But then America got a little bit greedy, and America started building a base here, and a base here, and a base here, and a base here. And America started putting its mighty military bases all around NATO, which then made NATO basically useless. So America, with its greed, actually put, I mean, how many is there? About 116 US bases across the world. Russia has like 13, and yet Russia's the aggressor. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I think the greed from America and they're always near oil and resources and wealth and money and gold and silver and lithium. They've got bases everywhere, and that's the issue. That's the issue, and that's why NATO has become redundant, basically. So, if everyone stops investing into NATO and say we don't need NATO, well then countries need to grow a backbone and say, no, you're not putting your base in our country. Go. And when that happens, I think things will start to change. At the minute, everyone's so scared of the mighty military armor that they just let them do it.
This is why I thought the UN was a great idea. I mean, I know it's not working as well as it should. But if you go back to the Suez Crisis, 1955, was it, something like that? The British and the French were kicked out of Egypt. And we looked at each other and thought, oh, cheeky bastards, we're going to go back into Egypt. We're going to take the canal back. Because we built it, or I can't remember who built it, but I mean, it was a British thing, wasn't it? So we sent troops in and we landed in Egypt and they all ran off. No, it wasn't even resisted the attack. And we seized the Suez Canal and took back control of the Suez Canal from the Egyptian government. The Egyptians just went straight to the UN and went, look what the British and the French have just done. And the British...
We caused this, Graham. Graham, the British, I mean, I know I've just had a go at America there. I've just said America's greed has caused this, but Britain's greed as well has caused a lot of shit. I mean...
everybody's greedy at some
We've all been greedy. I mean, the British like to get involved in everything because we want resources. We're like America, but smaller. We want resources. I mean, whoever sticks with Ukraine and sees it through to the end will end up with all those massive construction contracts, you know.
Well, yeah, that's another point. But the point I was making was the Egyptians complained to the UN. The UN made a resolution. They turned around to the British and the French and they said, you must get out of Suez. And that's the reason we left. Because the UN said so. Now, if the UN's in charge, right, and they have because they've got representatives from all nations in the UN. You've got somewhere like the Ukraine, right, and Russia's just moved into the Ukraine. They've got every right to complain to the UN. And say, look, what's just happened? And then they have a resolution and they have a talk about it. And they say, whoa. And they make a resolution. And they either tell Russia to withdraw or they negotiate. It's like going to the police, isn't it? You go to the police and you say, look, this is my problem. This is the problem I've got. Look, they've done this. And then let's hear both sides. And then it might finish up going to court. But that's what the UN is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a court who overlooks everything, and they've got all the power in the fucking world because they've got every nation is a member, and if the people don't abide by the verdict, then the UN has got the power to force them to get out. And we weren't forced to get out; we were told to get out, and we did. We withdrew from Suez. But I mean, this is where the Ukraine war should have gone. Instead of, I mean, you've got every right to fight people who are invading your country, of course you have. But the other alternative, I mean, look at Austria when the Nazis invaded, there was not a shot fired. Now, if the Ukrainians, which they didn't do, they fought back, but if they'd have let the Russians in and not fired a shot, they could have complained to the United Nations. If the United Nations were any good, they could have negotiated with all sides and come up with a resolution, and hopefully, because Russia's a big part of the UN, they're part of it.
But
and
Graham,
the UN would have made a decision, and they would have, and all these people would still be alive.
Graham, no one takes them. The UN's dead. The UN's dead, mate. No one takes UN. No one takes the UN seriously anymore. No one does.
This is the point. Yeah, that's the point I'm making. Isn't it a great idea though if it worked?
It would have been, yeah. I mean, but the UN, I mean, Jesus, I mean, Bosch in 1993, I mean, I don't understand a United Nations, right, that wears this little blue beret, little blue helmet cover, and stands and just takes notes and watches people shoot each other and go, yep.
Like Bosnia, yeah.
I find that's a pointless, that's a pointless force, a force that goes in and stays in their tanks, all painted white with UN in black, and just watches genocide and children being killed.
You've got to think of them as policemen. The UN has got to be the policeman of the world. They've got to do it in the name of everyone in the world.
That's dangerous because then what if you get someone in charge, they start doing shit nobody likes? That's a globalist. A globalist thing, isn't it? And
Trevor will tell you, right? He's probably been to Aldershot and Catterick and places like that. You know, you get big fights in the street with squaddies, and they're all drunk.
Yes,
right?
But when
they're all brawling, the cops can't just stand there and go, "Stop!"
The problem.
Stop, oi, break it up.
The problem.
Got to get stuck in and break it up.
The problem with having a global police is different parts of the world have different climates, different problems. different political issues. And if you have a blanket policy, this is why people don't
they
like
answer to everyone.
This is why people don't like blanket policy and the idea of a globalist government, a world order, because it doesn't work.
It's not a globalist government. It's a globalist sort of police force.
That's a terrible idea. Who thinks that's a terrible idea? Global police.
Well, who do you complain to because you're invaded?
Well,
you've got to have someone. You can't. It's.
I think that's a terrible idea, Graham.
I don't. I think it's a great idea if it worked.
I think that putting money. I mean, the European Union, and a lot of people are critical, but what Putin really hates about the EU is that not a single bullet has been fired while they have invaded his country. They've basically bought places like Latvia, Estonia. They've been encroaching into basically Russia by buying it, by investing money. It's a hugely successful.
Loads of money into it. Yeah.
It is a hugely successful invasion, a peaceful invasion.
I don't see it as an invasion.
But that's how Putin sees it.
Well, only because
he's like, where's this going to stop?
Only because he hasn't applied to join.
It's a good job Graham doesn't run the fucking world.
Russia's in
charge of the global police.
My
God, can you imagine Graham in charge of the global police?
Come on, they're entitled to join the EU if they wanted to.
Russia, join the EU.
Why not?
I hope Putin's watching this live.
They're entitled.
You're going to be in trouble. He's going to say, you are in trouble.
You're in trouble. No, what he is, he's entitled. He's a huge, big, powerful country and goes beyond the EU. But we were getting gas off them, we were getting all kinds of them. It's a massive economy. I mean, what the Russians are more scared of is getting invaded again.
Thank you, Foxy. And Suez was 1956, according to Foxy.
Terrible idea indeed. Yeah.
And Shaz said, I don't know if Shaz said
they
were there, or husband, was it Graham Common?
Oh. Well, listen, guys, nearly 10 o'clock, and I'm on my own tonight, so I'm going to have an early night. Graham,
thank you very, very much.
Thanks for coming on, Trevor. Much appreciated.
It's been fascinating. I mean, we've never chatted like this offline, have we? It's incredible.
I have never been so stunned with Graham in one sitting in my life.
Have I horrified you that much?
They should send you and Graham to sort it all out in Palestine. Fuck me, if World War III hasn't already started.
Do you know what would happen if me and Graham were sent to sort it out? We would end up getting pissed and forgetting all about it.
You'd both be killed by the Mossad.
My sergeant in the army said, you are a fucking hippie with a machine gun.
Yes, they actually, no, it was the guy who worked at MI6 who called you a hippie with a machine gun. It was your commanding officer who said you need to be questioned closely to obtain
unhealthy interest in firearms.
Well,
so
listen, guys,
I
am going to shoot on. What I will end on is we all agreed on it anyway. Listen, I know there's people in there tonight that are pro-Palestine and pro-this, and the fact is, nobody likes terrorism. I mean, innocent Palestinians, innocent Israelis being killed just because people are arseholes and people can't compromise. I just hope it ends soon.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't want to see anyone die, that's for sure.
I know. Well, listen, enjoy your evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, it's been absolutely awesome.
Epic. Thanks, Trevor. Catch you tomorrow, mate.
Good night. Right, everybody, I think we are probably going to go to bed now.
Well, that went on for an hour.
Before we completely obliterate the world. And isn't it ironic that Christopher Boozy seems to be in agreement with a lot of us? And yeah, a lot of people don't like the idea of a global police. What was that, Blake 7? Anyone remember the UK TV show, Blake 7? The woman with the very short black hair.
Servalan.
She had Servalan. She had a interplanetary police. What about Darth Vader? Oh, you're a Darth Vader.
No. The whole purpose of the UN is that every country is represented and they all have a vote, isn't it? So they're not going behind anyone's back, backstabbing anyone.
Exactly, or who controls the government
Well,
world order.
it's obviously not working. I mean, lots of people have said the world order is not a good idea.
Anyway, Graham had an argument
exactly
with a
the
load
world
of
order, is it?
lady lesbians a few years ago.
Did I?
Yes.
Remind me.
Because they were at Greenham Common, they were women.
Oh.
And these lesbian, I think they were on the dolphin boat, and they said we were at Greenham Common, and he said I was there too, and they said you're lying, you're a man, and he said I was in the army.
It's true.
Because the soldiers dragged the women away.
There was this vicar, not the vicar. It was
go and get a top up.
I can't remember his name. It'll come to me.
I'm too fat to squeeze a big little tiny gap like that. Yes,
Anyway,
so
Greenham Common was this massive airbase in the UK.
American.
No, it's British, but it was I think the Americans were there for sure.
Nuclear
It's
weapons.
got this enormous long runway, and I think they had B-52s there and things, and there's all bunkers and they were full of nuclear missiles and bombs and things, and all these lesbians descended on the base, and
You might find a few people who are watching were there as well.
CND, and honestly, nobody wants to get nuked, okay? So I've got a little bit of sympathy there. But these people were like, they camped out for goodness knows how long, and we had to sort of defend the perimeter of the base. Oh, what was his name? Oh, it was a Catholic cardinal. I can see his face, but I can't remember his name. Anyway. Their thing every now and then they just come along with snips and they just start cutting because there was just a fence around the base. They start cutting holes in the fence, and once they start cutting holes in the fence, they could be arrested or gassed. And what was that guy's name? I can't think of his name.
Doesn't matter, just tell the story.
Monsignor Bruce Kemp or something like that. Yeah, and they'd attack, and we'd have to be there defending the base. And they'd attack and cut holes in the fence. They just all run in. I don't know what they attempted to achieve. What they were going to sit on a B-52 or something. I don't know. But once you broke into Crown property, that was it. You could grab them and arrest them and take them to the guard room and then hand them over to the civilian police, and then they just let them go. And they'd go back to their campsite, and people used to attack their campsite in the night. I don't know who it was. It wasn't me. I didn't participate in that, but people did, and like tear all the tents down and thump people and things. It got really nasty at times. It was. So yeah, all these women said, "Oh, was it Greenham Common? We were all there." I'm like, "Oh, were you?" Yeah. So anyway, last time I went to Greenham Common, there was nothing there. The place was empty, completely deserted. Yeah. Well, I do get on being nuked is not good,
The fear, of course, was that if America took nuclear action,
then they'd retaliate.
They retaliate by bombing Greenham Common, which had nuclear weapons in it, and that the UK would pay the ultimate price. But I thought it was quite funny. I'm sure it was at Dolphin Safari, and these two or three women were all going, "Oh, I was at Greenham Common. Oh, I was at Greenham Common." And you piped up and went, "I was at Greenham Common." They went, "Fuck off, you're a man." And he went, "I was in the army." And their faces, because they hated the army. They hated the army.
Monsignor Bruce Kemp, I'm sure that was his name. And he came along, he was making, there was all the cameras around him at the time, and it is because he supported CND, he wanted to come up to the fence and cut the fence, and the minute you start cutting the fence, you can get nicked. And he was crying, he was like this. And he had to hold his breath, and he made one snip, and that was it. He took him away.
Was it the police that arrested him, or was it the soldiers?
I I wasn't there.
Did you have any run-ins at Greenham Common personally?
Well, yeah.
Anything you're willing to talk about online?
Nothing. We didn't do anything. We just apprehended people and took them to the guardrail.
Didn't you feel awkward handling women?
Well,
like, civilian women, didn't you feel like uncomfortable?
No, most of them just came. They knew they were going to get nicked
Right.
if they went through, cut a hole in an airfield with nuclear weapons and things. Cut a hole in the fence and go in. You know the guards are going to get you. And most of them they didn't care. We didn't have any nastiness. No.
I've just remembered something actually. Are you talking about that? I was out driving in the middle of the night, like 2, 3 in the morning with a friend near a place in Sussex called Camber Sands. And there's this place that you drive past that's got a very, very long fence, like razor wire fence. It's some kind of military base, nuclear base, I don't know. Yes.
Oh,
and you drive along this morning, and I was with a friend. We were in a dodgy old Capri, driving in the fog, so it was like spooky. And all of a sudden, we came across a hole in the fence, and not only was there a hole, there was about 4 people wearing not only hazmat suits, they were yellow suits with square heads, like a window, like a fucking TV screen, and air things. Like they'd gone on the moon or something. And I slowed down in the car, and there's a big hole, and they had Geiger counters, and they're all. And then they all looked at us and pointed their Geiger counters at us. We were in our dodgy old yellow Capri. You know, I bought it for £20, and it went for 2 weeks before it blew up. And my mate Thomas, he went, just drive, get the fuck out of here. I don't know what the hell that was about. It was like something out of The Simpsons. I just remembered that. Oh,
they had ranges down there. Oh wow.
KPWHU.
£20. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's extremely kind. Well, that goes to Graham. I often emphasise I don't accept or send money over the internet to anybody, but Graham does. And that's up to you, mate.
It goes to Lady Faith.
So anyway,
no, those ranges they have all villages and things.
What is that military base that lived then? You must know of it because you used to fly and you used to fly to the airport.
Yeah.
So it must be on an FIR, when you're filing an FIR bound thing.
No, it's an FIR bound.
But you must have seen it on the aviation maps. What is it?
It's gun range, it's firing range, and they do exercises there.
It's military.
Fish, it's called fighting in someone's house. You're going from, there's all buildings, but there's no windows, there's no doors. You just sort of jump in and out of rooms and fire blanks at everybody.
Why would they have Geiger counters? Because I swear to God they were.
Must have been some sort of NBC exercise, which would be nuclear, biological, and chemical weapons.
Off, man. There was a hole cut in the fence.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure.
I don't. Must have
and
been
have you
exercise.
ever seen these yellow suits with
No,
a cardboard?
We had NBC suits. We had NBC suits, like a green thing you put over your.
I've just remembered
uniform.
something else. There's a tunnel in Brighton on the A27. It's been a big bone of contention for many years. And when you drive through this tunnel, there's a doorway, and it goes into a hill in a field. And the Argus newspaper in Brighton, quite frequently, they close the A27 and they say, oh, there's been a pile-up. But you see the comments on the Argus and they say, there's no pile-up. I live there. It's near Port Slade. And they say, police are there. I bet they're going in the tunnel. And another thing, Graham's mother lived in St Albans Road in Port Slade.
Yeah.
His best friend, who he was in the army with, set up a security, he fits alarms. And there was a little shed next door to your mother's house, right?
There was.
And John got the security job. He said, all I've got to do is go in this shed and check the alarm. He said, I didn't fit the alarm, but it's just one of these maintenance things. And he said there was a hatch in the floor and it was like calling him. So he opened the hatch And he went down, and all lights came on automatically down a tunnel.
Going under everyone's gardens.
And he said, I swear to God, Graham, it goes under your mother's house. It goes right. He said, it goes so far, I can't see. And he said, it goes to some sort of nuclear bunker, I'm sure.
Foxy, check this out, mate.
Yeah, Foxy, go and have a look.
Foxy, because
the green shed at the end of the road of
St Albans Road is a one-way street, right? It goes from Boundary Road. So if you go all the way down Boundary Road, not Boundary Road, St Albans Road, to the end. My mother used to live on the left, number 44, which was second to the end.
That's right.
Then you go round the corner to is it Norway Street?
Yes.
I think it might be Norway Street.
And it was the old school.
Go round the corner, right, to the back of the house, and there's a building there until you get, and then there's twins up the back of the houses.
Yeah.
Until you get to St Andrews Road. But that building there, that's the building we're talking about. And he said, I've never been in, but he said there's this hatch in the floor.
What was weird was he said it was really, well, he just said it was really clean, and he said he went down the ladder just to be nosy, and because he'd been in the army like Graham, he just recognised concrete structure, very neat, tidy. He said it's been maintained, and obviously he had a sophisticated alarm that had rung alarm bells with him. And he said when he went down the ladder, the lights came on automatically like a sensor. And this would have been 2005-ish.
I used to fix cars, and there was, and there's like a little bit of a path in front of the building, and I popped the car on there because no one ever came to this building. We never saw anyone come or go from this building.
No.
It backed onto my mother's back garden.
Yeah.
44. So I thought, well, I'll stick this car on the path because I was fixing it for some reason. I don't know. We were doing a clutch on it or something. I can't remember. So there we were, and then if someone turned up and went, "Oh, you could have asked." And I looked at him and thought, "Asked who? Who are you?" Anyway, he didn't care. He disappeared. He came and went.
Well, they don't want to draw attention to places.
And yeah, weird.
And I said to John, "Why didn't you go down the tunnel? Let's go and have a look." And he instinctively went, "No."
Anyway, yeah, Foxy. All you got to do is click on the link. That's all you got to do, mate. And normally,
I'd forgotten all about that.
If your camera is set up and you're there, should we try it one more time, Foxy? Do you want to try it one more time before we go?
I think we're probably going to wrap it up now. I can't wait for the rest of the clocks to arrive. I think I got an absolute bargain
I
with
just
them.
wanted to talk to Foxy about this particular thing because he's the man to check
I tell you
it out.
what, Foxy, I am really into nuclear bunkers.
Southwick Tunnel.
The A27. It's like the tunnel goes through a hill, and there's a door, and there's no pathway there. The only way a pedestrian could get to that door is if the police close the road, and the police close. Any of you can Google it. A27 secret tunnel, and if you go on the archives of the Brighton Argus, they are persistently going on about it, and loads of people who live in Portslade and Brighton and Hove say there's been no accident, there's no reason to close the motorway. They're definitely doing something in that tunnel. And you know what? I've driven, because I used to live in Hove and go and see you at Shoreham Airport. I went through that tunnel all the time. Yeah. And quite frequently, when I was going to the airport, there'd be no traffic the other side, and the police had cordoned it off. And I often wondered why. So it's a mystery. I love the idea of nuclear.
We reckon there's some
I love it. Or, Cold War history and stuff.
In that area.
Foxy. Foxy.
He said no thanks, he'll try it another time.
He's just said something. Tunnel goes through a hill, okay? I will certainly look this up. Yes, definitely do. And we could do a whole live about it.
Been through it many times.
That would be awesome. I think it's probably bedtime.
Probably time to go, yes.
Thank you all very much for joining us tonight. It wouldn't be the same without you. It's been awesome. I'm sorry we haven't had much of a chance to highlight all of the comments and get to chat to you. But as we get towards Halloween, we'll be doing live spooky stuff. And
spookiness, yeah.
Then, of course, Christmas lives. I think we'll probably do what we did last
Christmas
year.
lights
So
again.
nobody needs to be alone at Christmas.
No, we'll do that again this year.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
And as Wally once said, you don't have to be alone at Christmas, even if there's a fly in the room. I remember her doing the video. Even if there's a fly in the room, you and the fly can have Christmas together. I just love that. Oh, I miss her so much.
She'll be in
I
touch
hope
with you
she's
again,
all right.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and may your God go with you.
And sugars, stay angry.
Yeah, stay ready.